everyone, welcome to my channel Pariksha Prep Tutorial. In this video, we are going to discuss the topic the Parliament of India. The Parliament of India is the supreme legislative body of the Republic of India. According to Article 79, the Indian Parliament comprises of the President and the two houses, Rajya Sabha, Council of States, and the Lok Sabha, House of the People. The President is a part of the legislature even though he or she does not sit in Parliament. After getting independence in 1947, the first elected Parliament came into existence in April 1952. In the background, you can see a picture of Indian Parliament and it is located in New Delhi. It was designed by Edwin and Herbert Baker. As till now, we get the basic idea of what Indian Parliament is. So let's move on to discuss the main functions of Indian Parliament. So the first function is to provide a cabinet. The cabinet is formed by a group of members of the legislature who command majority in the Lok Sabha. The next function is control over cabinet. As the Parliament provides the ministers, therefore it also holds them responsible to the elected representatives of the people. The Parliament can also remove the cabinet out of power, can reject a budget proposal or any other bill brought by the cabinet. The third function of the Parliament is financial control. Parliament is the supreme authority in case of finance, as the cabinet cannot spend a single pie without parliamentary approval. The next is the legislative control. The Parliament makes laws on all subjects listed in the Union list and under the concurrent list. In case if there is any conflict or overlapping with the state, the Union law prevails. In a special case of emergency, Parliament can also make laws on subjects that fall under state lists. The next point which we are going to discuss is the sessions of Parliament. The session is the period during which the houses of the Parliament meets to conduct its business. It begins with the consent of the President. The Parliament generally meets in 3 sessions in a year, which are Budget, which held from February to May, and it is the longest session. The next one is Monsoon, which held from July to August, and the last one is Winter, which held from November to December, and it is the shortest session. One important point to consider is that the gap between the 2 sessions should not be more than the 6 months. Let's further discuss about the houses of the Parliament. As we know that Indian Parliament has 2 houses, that is the Rajya Sabha, which is also known as Council of States, and the Lok Sabha, which is also known as House of the People. Let's first discuss the Rajya Sabha and learn some important points of this house. The maximum strength of Rajya Sabha can be 250. But presently the total membership of Rajya Sabha is 245. Out of these, President nominates 12 members amongst persons having a special knowledge or practical experience in the fields of literature, science, art and social service. The Parliament by law has provided for 233 seats for the states and the union territories. All the states and only 2 union territories, Delhi and Puducherry, are represented in the Rajya Sabha. Now, let's learn how the members of the Rajya Sabha are elected. So, the representatives of each state are elected by the elected members of the Legislative Assembly of the state in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of the single transferable vote. In Rajya Sabha, no seats are reserved for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. The Rajya Sabha is not subject to dissolution. It is a permanent body. 1/3 of its members retire on the expiration of every second year. There are some conditions which are essential to be a member of Rajya Sabha. These are: must be a citizen of India, and the second one is must not be less than 30 years. Vice President is the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. He presides over the proceeding of the Rajya Sabha. Also, a deputy chairman is elected from among its members. When the chairman acts as the President of India, the duties of the chairman are performed by the deputy chairman. The first chairman was Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan. The first deputy chairman was S.V. Krishnamurti Rao, and the first deputy chairperson female was Srimati Violet Alva. The chairman may be removed from his office only if he is removed from the office of the vice president. Now we are going to discuss some special powers of the Rajya Sabha. These are: a resolution seeking the removal of the vice president can originate only in the Rajya Sabha. And if the Rajya Sabha passes a resolution by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting, then it is necessary in the national interest to create one or more All India services. Parliament by law provides for such service or services. Now we are going to discuss the second house of the parliament, that is Lok Sabha. The maximum strength of the Lok Sabha can be 550 plus 2. But presently the Lok Sabha consists of 543 members, in which 530 members are directly elected from the states and 13 from UTs and 2 are Anglo-Indians. Unlike Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha is not a permanent body and is subject to dissolution. The normal tenure of the Lok Sabha is 5 years, but it may be dissolved earlier by the President. The life of the Lok Sabha can be extended by the Parliament beyond the 5 years term, when a proclamation of emergency under Article 352 is in force. But the Parliament cannot extend the normal life of the Lok Sabha for more than 1 year at a time. There are some conditions which are necessary to be a member of Lok Sabha. The first one is must be a citizen of India and must not be less than 25 years of age and registered voter in any parliamentary constituency. There are some conditions under which a member of the Lok Sabha can be disqualified. These conditions are: if you voluntarily give up the membership of party, or if you overrule the whip, or he remains absent for 60 days without intimation. Presiding officer in the Lok Sabha is the Speaker. The member among themselves elect him or her. The Speaker continues in office even after the dissolution of the Lok Sabha till a newly elected Lok Sabha meets. The Speaker presiding at the meeting of the House of the People as well as joint sitting of the two houses of Parliament. The Speaker also gives permission to the members to speak in the House. The first meeting after election in which a Speaker and Deputy Speaker is elected by members of Parliament is held under the senior-most member of Parliament, and he is called Pro Tem Speaker. Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha are also chosen by its members. Salary and allowances of the Speaker are charged on the Consolidated Fund of India, that is, they do not have to be voted by Parliament. As we know that the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker normally holds office during the life of the House, but his office may terminate earlier in many cases, such as by his ceasing to be a member of the House, by resignation in writing addressed to the Deputy Speaker and vice versa, or by removal from office by a resolution passed by a majority of all the then members of the House. A resolution to remove the speaker cannot be moved unless at least 14 days notice has been given of the intention to move the resolution. While the resolution for his removal is under consideration, the speaker cannot preside, but he can speak in, take in part in the proceedings of the House and vote except in the case of equality of votes. The first speaker of the Lok Sabha was Ganesh Vasudev Mavlankar, also known as G.V. Mavlankar, and the first tribal speaker of the Lok Sabha was P.A. Sangama. The first female speaker was Meera Kumar, and the first deputy speaker was M. Iyengar. There are some special powers which are enjoyed by Lok Sabha, that are money and the financial bills originate only in Lok Sabha. The confidence and the no confidence motions can be introduced in Lok Sabha only, and according to Article 352, the Lok Sabha in a special sitting can disapprove the continuance of national emergency even when the Rajya Sabha rejects such a resolution. Now let's move on to discuss some important parliamentary terms. The first one is quorum, that is mentioned under Article 100C. It is the minimum number of members required to be present before any houses can transact any business, and it is 1/10 of the total number of members. The next one is question hour. The day's business normally begins with the question hour, during which questions are asked by the members are answered by the ministers. The next one is 0 hour. This period follows the question hour and it generally begins at noon. Its duration is 1 hour, usually the time used by the members to raise various issues for discussion. The next one is adjournment motion. It is the motion to adjourn proceedings of the House so as to take up for discussion some matter of urgent public importance. Any member can move the motion, and if more than 50 members support the demand, the Speaker grants permission for the motion. The next is guillotine. On the last of the allotted days, at the appointed time, the Speaker puts every question necessary to dispose of all the outstanding matters in connection with demand for grants. The guillotine concludes the discussion on demand for grant. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you find the video helpful. Let me know in the comment section down below. Hit the like button and please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more such videos.